so much is happening. I like to invite you here at least once a month. And I appreciate you coming up from South Texas to do it. Dr. Ed Gribb, obviously from the globalhealingcenter.com, author, researcher, drug developer, also supplement developer. But I like him to wild card me and just show whatever he wants to talk about. What does all this quantify here today? Like 6,000 studies on dangers of smart meter, RF, and EMF, Wi-Fi in schools, magnetic fields, and measured in how do you say that,
Milliwatts.
Yes, milliwatts. And then it says 1 million watts. And then for safety, the EPA recommends you limit your magnetic field exposure to 0.5 mg to 2.5 mg. But they admit this is all higher than that. And then we have a big stack of mainline news admitting that the cell phones are giving us cancer. And it's only intensifying. People are running to rural communities now to get away from it. What's happening, Dr. Gribb? What do all these terms you sent me stand for?
Well, those are just talking points, but really, in reality, it's the global elite agenda to create an environment of electromagnetic frequencies. I mean, our body is an electrical system. Our body's an antenna. And when you combine all these microwave waves through smart meters, through cell phones, through many different methods, the whole design, which is really scary, what you were talking about earlier, is so that all species can no longer produce. And that's what we're coming to, because we produce 3,000 miles of DNA every single day, and these frequencies that we're being bombarded with are changing and altering the DNA, and it's causing sterility, it's causing changes to the ovaries, it's causing changes to the testes, and that's not...
And they're telling us we have bad genetics, but as that mainline professor just said, the genetics, everybody has those. It's what flips the switches on. We're all getting super sick, and they're telling us our genes are bad because they're putting things in the environment that are flipping the switch.
When you put metals in the environment, too, and then you add electromagnetic frequencies or radio frequencies or microwave frequencies, then you're...
But I shouldn't worry about that. I should worry about fighting with black people.
Right, because the global elite already has the solutions to all this. They have special paint that they paint their walls with to reduce the frequencies coming in. They have solutions.
They're building all these elite hotels for rich people that don't have Wi-Fi. Or they have retreats they run to.
Yeah, look at the underground facilities and how many of those have been built. So, I mean, they have the solutions, but they want to create a whole world where... I'm not talking about humans even. I'm talking about animals, too. I mean, trees next to cell phone towers are dying. I mean, the cells are being...
Monsanto said, I think 10 years ago, or no, it was 14 years ago now, because I read it on air over and over again in National Geographic, they admitted, yeah, no, we want to take over, have everything GMO, so you'll need us just to have trees and grass. Nothing else will live. They kill everything, and then only their Franken life lives.
Radiation-proof plants, probably. By that time, who knows what's going to happen. But... the fact of the matter is, the new thing now, I mean, I know if you've talked about it and people are aware of it, is the smart meter situation, and the smart meter putting out over 190,000 pulses of, radiation throughout your whole house, and all the kids now that are getting sick, and not only getting sick in the homes, but and the parents too, for that matter.
But we shouldn't worry about that. We should worry about men and women fighting with each other.
Well, it's all a diversion. Like you were saying, the media is going to divert you over here. So you think about this, racial stuff, or this, all these shootings or something here, when the big picture is they're poisoning the food, the air, the water, and now they're radiating you. And so that is affecting the health, and also with the smart meters, you're talking about privacy issues. I mean, literally, they can, with a smart meter, they can see exactly what time you get up. They can say...
they now say they can read keystrokes.
They can read everything, and they can look inside your home with the smart meters and say, oh, he gets up in the middle of the night to go urinate, and they sell that information to the insurance carrier. And when you come down with prostate cancer, and the insurance carrier says, well, according to our records, you were getting up in the middle of the night, you didn't go into your doctor to get checked out, so, we're not going to cover you anymore. I mean, basically every single thing that you're doing can be monitored by these smart meters that not only are putting high levels of radiation into your home, but also used for security, and so they can, watch every single thing that you're doing all the time. So, I mean, that's a pretty severe situation going on, and that's why they're trying to push for all these smart appliances, too. I mean, the smart meter...
Well, the smart meter dials into those, and it's the main surveillance hub.
Right, and it's a threat to the house, too, because now you're having fires all over the country with people installing these smart meters.
I remember reading, even to their credit, a CNN article a few years ago on air where it admitted that, in fact, we probably pulled the headline up, that cell phone radiation, quote, rattles and breaks DNA, and that's why the brain tumors are increasing. It literally just breaks up your DNA, then the mutations start. Explain to people, what that means.
Well, there's been pictures and videos online of someone taking with a tree next to a smart meter, and there's some aphids on a leaf. And every time the smart meter pulses, you can see the aphids actually shake. So what happens is this microwave radiation is the same stuff that your microwave oven cooks food in. It's just not as strong. And what it does is it can literally, those pulses of electromagnetic or actually radio frequency or microwave energy go in and alter the DNA structure, and it actually can break it, and it can cause genetic mutations because a house runs on 60 hertz. I mean, that's what the general grid is set at. But with the smart meter, you're pumping in about 928 million hertz into a 60 hertz grid. So it can cause headaches. It can cause memory loss, memory fatigue. It can cause thyroid disruption. It can cause many bone, muscle pain. It can initiate cancer. World Health Organization came out in 2011 and said that radio frequency microwave energy causes, classified it as a 2 carcinogen. So, I mean, all of this on top of every single thing else that people are doing, not eating healthy, using VOCs in their house, drinking the fluoridated tap water. I mean, it's a combination of things, but when you're stuck in a radio frequency grid and you can't get out of it, all that's going to do is just initiate disease even more.
But I remember in the 90s, there were literally, because I would read the news every day, thousands of news articles, hundreds a year, mainline going, no, cell phones do cause brain cancer. And then I've talked to brain surgeons, and they go, no, we're seeing a ton of them. Right on the side, you'll hold the cell phone to. All these rare brain tumors are off the charts. I'll be sitting at dinner or wherever, people are like, yeah, Bob's got brain cancer. I go, how old's Bob? Oh, he's 40. I mean, it is just epidemic. Right,
60% increase in brain cancer since cell phones came out. And if you read the fine print on an iPhone, it actually says that in article whatever in the agreement that you signed that it needs to be held 5/8 of an inch away from your head. Now, children's skulls are a lot thinner, so children are going to be affected, exponentially worse than adults are, especially being sensitive. And that brings up a whole nother subject, which we're talking about all the Wi-Fi routers that are in all the public schools and all the children now that are being mislabeled. See, instead of the doctor saying, let me look at your diet, let me look at what you're exposed to in your environment to figure out what's causing your health problems. What you go into your doctor and you come up with all these symptoms, and then they diagnose you with ADD. They're not looking at, oh yes, you're hypersensitive to microwave frequency.
You shouldn't be eating 5 candy bars a day. Right. You shouldn't be drinking Coca-Cola all day. You're having sugar spikes. You're hypoglycemic. There's 100 things,
right?
And that's what I harp on. There's a multi-1,000% increase in breast cancer in the last 50 years. The U.S. leads the world next to England. They go to third world countries, no one's getting breast cancer. I mean, literally, it just doesn't exist. And we got to find a cure. No one asks, why is it exploding? Why are the brain tumors exploding? Why is cancer in kids exploding more than 10,000%? Why? There's no discussion. It's like, oh, we're going to get a treatment for that. No, what's causing it?
Exactly. That's my whole point. What's the root cause of disease? That's the true doctor is going to find out what the root cause of that individual's disease is and then address it. And, like we used to do, we used to go into the individual patient's house and say, okay, you need to throw out all this stuff. Look at these chemicals. Educate the patient on what all is causing disease. These artificial dyes are causing this. These MSG and all this other stuff are excitotoxins in your brain. This stuff, the artificial sweeteners are contributing to this. Here's you're sleeping with your laptop on your lap at night. You have chemicals, toxic chemicals that you're cleaning with. All these things are contributing to disease, and it's very simple. Eliminate this stuff from your life or replace it with non-toxic stuff, and then the disease goes away, and your body can heal itself because we all have a self-healing mechanism. It's like breast cancer. Okay, what's causing breast cancer? Too much estrogen, not enough testosterone, iodine deficiency, and women wearing bras and putting their cell phones right in their bras.
Oh, yeah. Have you noticed women put their cell phones in their bras?
I see it all the time. They walk around with their cell phone.
For those that don't know, cell phones are always on, sending data back and forth.
That's right. And smart meters are too. They say that smart meters only pulse a couple times a day, but they're on all day long pulsing. I mean, they're relaying information to other smart meters. What's happening is they're creating a situation, which we didn't even talk about with the frequencies, that keep your body in a sympathetic state. Sympathetic state is a fight or flight response. When you're in a fight or flight response in your system, your adrenal glands become overworked, you produce adrenaline, your immune system drops 50%. Your body is in a state where you're ready to just go and get away from that area. They know that the body cannot be in a sympathetic state for too long. It starts to break down. People are, and emotions, causing an emotional.
So number one, breathe.
Number one, well, taking 9 deep breaths is the fastest way to get yourself in a parasympathetic state. What I recommend everybody do, especially before you eat, because when you eat in a sympathetic state, which means when you eat watching TV,
you eat more.
When you eat driving, when you eat when you're upset, when you come home from work all stressed out and you eat right away and you don't calm yourself down and relax, you're not going, it's proven, you do not digest the food, you don't utilize your nutrients properly, you don't secrete the enzymes that you need to break the foods down. Basically, your body will attack those foods. And
what about the scientists we had on, the PhD from Notre Dame, about how not holding the babies and giving them formulas turning us into jellyfish?
Exactly.
I mean, it's real simple. And that was all planned by the social engineers. Moms, don't hold your baby. Let them cry. Give them this formula. They are. I mean, this is insane.
The soy formula, the GMO formula, which burns holes in their guts and then leaks nutrients in.
Then you wonder why they cry, why they get...
Exactly, and all the kids have allergies, and then when it comes out, it causes rashes all over them, eczema, psoriasis.
The truth is they've got control of the black community so they can kill over half of them before they're born. They only get to kill 20-some% of the whites and Hispanics. But it doesn't matter. They're still going to kill that baby's brain. They're going to kill their guts. They're going to give them fluoride so they never even become conscious. That's the truth. You got a bunch of walking dead out here. Can you reverse the walking dead? Because they're even telling us subconsciously you're zombies. The Marine Corps trains to, quote, shoot zombies because they got caught training to kill Americans, mainly rural people. So they went, oh, it's a zombie shooting drill now. So they're already telling us they're zombies. Can you reverse zombiosis?
The good thing is you can reverse anything in the body, and the first thing is becoming aware of it, like your listeners are, and like more people are becoming aware of it. Yes, you avoid the things, you understand what they're using, and then you avoid and you come up with a solution or a plan to...
I can't avoid the aluminum dioxide being sprayed in the air.
Well, you can. Well, here's the thing. When you sleep at night, 8 hours, this is one of the most important things I tell people. You need to get 8 hours of sleep at night, and you need to take all your electromagnetic stuff out of your bedroom. Look and see if the smart meter, if you have a smart meter, and if it's right outside your bedroom or your kids' bedrooms, and do something about it. They have shields now that are available. You can put over them. You can opt out. Or, there's other methods that you can, get your smart meter changed up back to an analog meter again. But the first thing you do is look where you sleep. That's the first thing you change. Put some live plants in your bedroom. Don't sleep on those memory foam mattresses that are you're breathing fire retardants and VOCs all night long. Don't have clock radios next to your bed. Don't sleep with your cell phone plugged in. If you had created an
I noticed I would have my cell phone plugged in and get news alerts, and then I would feel it and wake up, but every time it got a ping of GPS location or data or a tweet would come in, it would wake me up.
Well, because it increases your heart rate automatically whenever you get pinged like that. So, not everybody. Some people are more sensitive than other people.
Well, for those that don't know, your heart is more electrochemical than your brain in the areas of the nerve ganglia that control it.
There are a massive amount of people that are having high blood pressure right now that are going into their doctor, and the doctor is putting them on high blood pressure medication, and when it's really being caused by electromagnetic frequency or microwave frequency stimulation. And, the reason I say, you have to take baby steps, because a lot of people aren't going to automatically switch to an organic diet. You switch to an organic diet, and then you're automatically avoiding the GMOs and the pesticides and the insecticides and all the other contaminants in the food. You look at your beverages that you're consuming. You get off of all your diet sodas, get off of, everything. Really, the only thing the body needs and wants after you're done breastfeeding is water, and that's why I recommend everybody drink water with organic apple cider vinegar in it, because that way it changes your body fluids more to an alkaline state than an acidic state, and disease lives in.
And by the way, you can't find bubble gum at the store that doesn't have aspartame or its derivatives in it. For those that don't know, tell them what that is.
Well, aspartame is actually genetically modified, and it's a toxin to the body, and it's in practically everything, and it's hidden under, you know, different types of flavoring and artificial sweeteners. But what it does is it actually converts to formaldehyde at certain temperatures. So it literally
87 degrees.
At 87 degrees, yeah. So what it does is just basically formaldehyde is a toxic ingredient that your body can't react to, and it's actually a carcinogen.
That sounds kind of racist.
Well, I mean, you can look at everything as being racist.
Why are you against formaldehyde?
Because it preserves you from the inside out.
Well, sure, you put it in dead people, but what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is one more thing on the list of 80,000 plus chemicals that are cancer-causing agents that are allowed by our government to control and to keep us sick and to keep us brain dead, and, you know, we end up paying for all this. That's the sad part about it.
Well, it's even worse than that.
You know,
we just get comfortable with all this, and clearly the numbers show it. They're just killing us. Look, Obama to make Wi-Fi in schools like it is in coffee shops.
And that's crazy. I mean, there's already some countries that have done the testing on it and outlawed Wi-Fi in schools. But, I mean, again, you know.
Well, it's like they used to put cell towers on top schools till the kids on that floor were getting brain cancer.
Right.
I mean, look, it's happening. I mean, we know there's a reason the TSA are getting cancer.
Yeah, and there's ways to protect yourself against that. I mean, you know, turn your cell phone off. You know, use it far away on speakerphone.
Well, we sell those lined bags that right. Block it,
yeah,
except when you want to use it, and they can't spy on you that way and track you.
Right, right. And then, you know, there is paints available out there that you can paint your house inside your house, which will block any.
It's like a Faraday cage.
It's like makes it like a Faraday cage. Yeah,
incredible.
We were talking about solutions because so many times people say, "Well, what am I supposed to do about all this? What am I supposed to do about, you know, what are the solutions?" And I started talking about it's so important to reduce your stress levels and
breathe.
You know, breathe. And what I tell people to do when they're having dinner with their family, sit down in the evening, and then everybody take 9 deep breaths. And that is one of the fastest ways proven to put your body back in the parasympathetic state. As a matter of fact, you should do it before you eat every single time, because we have people that are literally deprived of nutrition out there that are eating all day long, and they're nutritionally deprived because they're not getting the nutrition into their body that they need. So
everybody knows if you're really upset, you say, "I can't eat," or if somebody's mom just dies, they'll eat, maybe throw up. I mean, you need to be in a good, relaxed thing to eat food and enjoy it.
Right.
Why you're supposed to sit around the table with a family, have a good time, laugh with your friends. That's when the food's good.
And chewing your food 25 times or until it's a liquid first.
You sound just like my dad. You're absolutely right. I've done everything for 15 years to basically horrible.
Well, because everybody's in a rush, and so they just, you know, go get some fast food real fast in the car, and they slam it down, and, you know, half of it's not even chewed up, and then the body has to work. You know, you start running out of enzymes by the time what they're finding is people are running out of digestive enzymes by the time they're 28 years old right now. And that digestive enzymes are what you need to break the food down into the particles that you can.
And they say that's what kills most old people. You know, why they get other diseases is, I forget the name of that syndrome, but more and more I was reading like major scientific publication, I forget last year, that exactly their stomachs don't work anymore. They're just not absorbing the nutrients.
Right. I mean, a lot of that also has to do with the genetically modified foods and the glyphosate and the the Bacillus thuringiensis, you know, bacteria that's burning holes into the gut and causing leaky gut syndrome. And then those food particles and other toxic particles are leaking into the bloodstream and not being broken down. And then once they get in the bloodstream, the body dumps them wherever, you know, is a weak link inside the system.
Well, again, I saw a study recently in mainline science. That guy's trying to pull it up that they've now proven that GMO food is getting into the blood and jumping into our cells.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, this whole social and genetic experiment is just, every generation, it gets worse and worse and worse. Like some of the studies they did on rats, after the 7th generation, they weren't even able to have any babies anymore. So, I mean, we're coming up probably on like the 4th or 5th or 6th generation here pretty soon. And like we were talking about earlier, at the beginning of the show, when you were talking about long-term evolution, that wasn't talking about evolution. That's what that LTE stands for on your cell phone when you look at it and it says LTE, like light network. That stands for long-term evolution, where you could think into that and say, okay, you know, what is this long-term evolution that they're planning for us with, you know, all this radiation.
They're playing God. In fact, that should be the name of this segment. We put it on prisonplanet.tv is we are all part of a secret experiment. We are all in a giant experiment.
We are in the Matrix. There's this huge giant experiment going on right now. And the solution to all that is what we're talking about. You know, clean up your air quality in your house, especially when you sleep for 8 hours a night, breathe clean air. You know, avoid the fluoride, the tap water, or really it comes down to this. All the chemicals, all the exposure to everything, avoid it and keep your body
We've got to
clean.
make a break with the system. It's killing us.